Hello friends, welcome to ADO.NET tutorial. Now we are at the final part of the sub-series ADO.NET model, and in this video we will see how to connect to a SQL Server database. ADO.NET comes with a SqlConnection class using which we can connect to SQL Server DB. So we learned about this SqlConnection class in one of our previous video in this sub-series. Open method of the object. So object means we have to create instance of this SqlConnection, and open method of the object can open connection to the database. Using this string, say for example, it will make use of connection string. In the constructor, we can pass the connection string. So using the connection string, connection to SQL Server will be opened. To avoid resource leak, we must close the connection after use. And it is good to place the connection object in the using block. Say for example here SqlConnection, and let's state that the instance name is con, and your code flows like this. Then you will make a call to connection.open. So this will establish connection to SQL Server. Then you will do some task. After that, you have to close the connection. So this will avoid the resource leak. Or you can place the entire connection inside the using block. So when we are constructing the connection, that time itself we can place using block. So connection you will open here using the new instance you will create, and then you will open inside it, and this will be the using block. In the using block, when the code flow sees the closing block, it will automatically close the connection. So there are two ways. One is you can open the connection and manually close it, or place the connection object creation in the using block, and inside the block use the connection, and you no need to close it. Once the closing parenthesis is seen, ADO.NET will close the connection for you. So you can use the using block for any object that requires a closure. Say for example, in future we will be using the reader classes or command objects. For all those stuff you can use the connection, the using block. When you close connection, the connection will be returned to pool of connection, or we can call that as a connection pool. Connection pool is useful as it will not go with the overhead of validating the new connection. Right? Whenever we create a new connection and open it, the connection will be validated to make sure you have access to the database. All the other username, password is valid, so all the stuff will be validated. So connection pool, when we are using it, the connection will be used. Say for example, there will be 4 connections, C1, C2, let's state 3 connection, C3. Let's state that these connections are opened and available in the pool. So when the connection was opened for the first time, the time itself validation was done, and when a new request is made, connection here in the pool will be returned. So once a free connection is returned, you can use the connection, and after the use you can return the connection to the connection pool. So when we are retrieving the connection from the pool, the advantage here is validation no need to be done, because it was done when the connection was first opened. So take the connection, use it, and return it to the pool. So that's the use of a connection pool. Using the Boolean pooling property of the connection string builder, one can turn on or turn off the connection pooling. When you want to reopen the connection in the same scope, go for the close method. Or let's state that you have some utility class, and in that class you open the connection in the constructor, and you can close the connection on a particular method and reopen it whenever you want. So when you want to reopen the connection in the same scope, go for the close method. Say for example, you can open the connection, make a call to open method, right? Use the connection, then go for connection dot close. So if this is the case, when connection is available in the scope, you can use the same connection object and you can make a call to open method again. So since the connection string will not be destroyed, you can do close and open multiple times. So make sure the connection is in closed state, then open it again. So all the stuff you can do when connection object is available, you can do open and close. So here we are talking about close method, right? Since it will not kill, so I mean since it will not, in the sense, since the close method will not kill the connection string, you can call open method again on the connection object. So that's the use of close method. But if you want to completely eliminate the connection object, call the dispose method. So once the dispose method is called, the connection is completely destroyed. But if you want to completely eliminate it, call the dispose method, which will destroy the underlying connection string as well, right? The close method will not destroy the connection string. That's why you can reopen it anytime, providing that the connection object is available. I mean CON is CON in the sense here we are talking about SQLConnection. SQLConnection is available. But once you make a call to dispose, you cannot open the connection. So it will destroy the SQLConnection object as well as the underlying connection string. In this video, we will connect to SQL Server Database using the SQLConnection object. Right, SQLConnection we already talked about, and now we will see an example. We already talked about build integrated and build connection. So now what we will do, we will enter the detail here in the server initial catalog, user ID and password. Then we will hit the connect button. So inside the event handler, we will actually connect to the SQL Server Database. Then we will retrieve some of the connection property and display that here in the multi-line text box. So here we are not going to fetch any data from the database. Here we are just going to connect to the SQL Server Database and open the connection and then retrieve some of the connection property. Alright, now let's go to the demo. Alright, now we will expand our form. First we will unlock the controls, expand the form and go to toolbox, command control, add a button control here. We will name this as btn connect. and set the text property as connect. Then double click it to implement the click event, or click on the events. There are multiple events available on the button, and we will just handle the click event. Double click here. It will bring you to the button click code. So here, if you see, we are creating the SqlConnection object by reading the text string from here. All right. When we use build integrated or build connection, we will take input from these 4 fields and form the connection string, and we will keep that here in the text box. That's what we are reading here using the txt connection string dot text. Since opening the connection will throw exception, we are adding a try block here, and we will also provide a handler for the catch. So try catch, inside the try catch we can open the connection. So connection is ready based on the connection string which we build using the btn con integ or conflict, and then using that connection string here we are constructing the SQL connection. Then from the connection object we are opening the connection. So after opening the connection, we can check the state. So here the property is state. So this state tells that current state of the connection. So you can check connection is opened or closed using the connection state enumeration. And if you see broken, closed, open, the more frequently used ones are closed and open. So you can even check whether connection is in closed state before opening it, when you are opening it for multiple times. So here we are just checking whether connection is opened using the connection state dot open, because here we are already attempting the open, right? So if there is an error, it will automatically go to the catch block. So such a check here is simply a safeguard code, and when the connection state is in open, okay, we need to close the try block here. This is for if else or if can. Once the connection is in open state, we will print some of the connection property. And if you see connection dot database, and we are stating that connected to which specific DB, then from the opened SQL Server DB, we take the connection timeout property and display that. Then we specify data source as well as server version. So these are all the some of the properties from the opened connection, and we are just displaying that as a message box. So here we are not using the text box because the text box was already populated by the build integrated or build connection, so we don't want to disturb that content. That's why here we are using the message box. Otherwise you can clear the text box content and display this same string inside that multi-line text box. So after using the open here, if you see, we can simply make a call to connection.close. So this will close the connection. So in the workflow, we are building the connection string. After that, we are creating the SQL connection object. To the SQL connection object, we are passing the connection string, and this connection string tells where is the server and what database we want to open, whether it is integrated mode or SqlConnection mode. If it is an SqlConnection mode, we will specify the SQL username as well as password. So with all these detail, the connection will be opened and it will be there in the CON SqlConnection. So with all these detail, once you make a call to open, it will open connection to the database. And now our front-end application can talk to the SQL Server once the open is succeeded. All right. So here we doesn't hit the database by fetching the table of data, but I mean the table data. But here we simply check the connection state is open and then retrieve some of the connection property like server version, the connection timeout, and displaying that as a message box. Finally, we are closing the connection. So that's all here. If there is any exception, that will be thrown here in the catch block. Okay. There is a mismatch in the brace. Okay, this for namespace, right? And this one is for the class, and then there are methods. All right, so in the catch block, we will place the error handling code. So in the exception block, if you see, we are showing one more message box stating that not able to connect environment.newline ex.message, and title whatever we are giving is connection error to the message box. Now we will build this solution. In the output, we can see everything is succeeded. Now we will give server name as localhost and initial catalog is pubs, and we will go with the integrated connection mode. Here we will click on build integrated. That means we will be using the logged in user's credential to connect to the database. So let's click connect here. So the connect will make use of the connection string, whatever is populated here when building the SQL connection. Right. So opens the connection and then fetches the connection property, displays that in the message box. Let's do that here. So connected to DB pubs, DB timeout is 15 and database location is localhost, and this is the SQL Server version. So now we will provide localhost pubs SA, and password for SA is Rohit, and build connection. And this time if you see, it's not integrated mode, instead we are using the SQL Server connection, and when I click connect, it displays the same message. Now let's give invalid password and say connect or build connection. Here this information is wrong, and when I try to connect, it says that not able to connect, login failed for user SA. Alright, and this time here I'm giving some server name and choosing build connection, and when I connect, it may wait for some time and then throws the error. So it takes time because it is searching for the system name Kitcher in the network, and finally throws the error not able to connect. a network. So not able to connect is what we are placing here in the exception black, and remaining stuff is coming in the next line, since here we are stating not able to connect one line, and we are breaking that line, and actual message comes in the next line. So a network related instance specific error. So this message is thrown by the SqlConnection object. So now let's click OK. So this is how you have to connect to our SQL Server database. All right, we are done with the demo. From next sub-series onwards, we will talk to the database and do DB programming. That's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.